Collective hi, hello, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Whenever you come across this video, thank you so much for choosing to spend a little bit of time with me. I'm so grateful for every single one of you. Listen, I keep hearing shark bait, ooh aha, right? That's from Finding Nemo, and I heard got him or gotcha or something. It was something like that. You were used as shark bait, but you're always protected, right? So it's like just before the shark is like, right? The divine's like, it's kind of laughable, if I'm being honest with you, right? Yeah, because the sharks can't see the invisible string, right? That connects you with the divine. So they just see you as this vulnerable little guppy out there, all on your own. Oh my gosh, they're showing me a guppy that literally turned into a piranha, right? I'm a piranha. Okay, anyways, thank you for all the likes, shares, and subscribes. Everyone who's booking, making purchases off the website, pledges to the Patreon, sending things to the P.O. Box, purchases off the wish list, tipping the Clarista, and whatever else this is. Thank you. There is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you so very much. Let's get some messages about this, right? We have a new moon coming up. We are in eclipse season, so emotions might be really high right now, all right? So just be aware of that. But especially maybe with the shark, you know, because this person's going to bite their lip, right? The shark's going to injure themselves because they're trying to bite you, you know? There was something, too, that was coming through. Yeah, your hard work is paying off. Have faith in your dreams. This seems like it's almost was like a, oh, yeah, something about Finding Nemo, right? I'm thinking about, like, the theme. That might be significant here. Yeah, that shark bait was it what he was in the fish tank. So you're being watched by a lot of people here, right? It's like you're in a fish tank. Um, yeah. And you know, you remember when like Nemo got dropped in there, right? They're all like asking questions. Hi, I'm Flo. Yeah, so uh there's something about maybe being dropped into a new environment. Now, if the divine is putting you here, okay, you're not restricted by the tank, okay? There's something about that, right? It's like the environment, but the glass walls are kind of elusive in a way that you can, you know what I mean, but it's like you're being shown, right? If we're talking about a glass, you know, like a fish tank, it's like people can see you, right? But it's like you're being dropped into a new environment where people can see you, they can recognize you, right? Now, if this is not divinely led and this is somebody else that was trying to drop you in a fish tank, right, with a shark or something like that, again, there's this invisible string here that just pulls you right out. And yeah, okay. Okay. Tell me more. There's like this energy too. I started to say this, and I'm sorry. I sometimes get all over the place. These downloads come through very quickly, and I try to keep up with them. There's like this energy too with the surrender to the divine coming out here, where it is like, know that, like, yes, you were just used as shark bait. Yep, you sure were. But it's like that kind of, it's almost like something that the divine fits into your schedule. You know what I mean? Like, it's not something that you have to, like, make room for or stop doing anything else for, or, you know what I mean? It's like, does that make sense? It's like, you know, the divine places you in certain places at the right, you know, certain times, in order to kind of, you know, be the shark bait in a way, if you will, without it like getting in the way of like where you're headed, your path. Okay, so there is kind of this energy of like, don't resist it. Okay, some of you, it's like, you know, being shark bait is part of something you came here to do. you know? Um, but you're safe, right? It's like, it almost sounds terrible, like saying it like that. Like, it sounds like it's coming from the government. Like, yeah, just, just let us use you as bait. We got your back. But this isn't the government. This is the divine. Okay. And so truly, it's like, you're locking up like demons that are out here, like spirits, like, these energies, injuring these sharks. Do you get what I'm saying? To the point where they kind of create their own demise, is what I'm hearing. Okay? So, yeah, a win-win outcome is in the forecast here. Okay. All right. So, and I feel like, too, there is a level of this also being kind of, I don't want to say like a test, but kind of a test for you as well, right? What's your awareness of being the shark bait, right? It's like suddenly you find yourself dropped into this environment, especially if this isn't divinely led, right? And it is the shark bait part, right? But you're dropped into this fish tank, and there's sharks circling around, and it's like you may not see the invisible string either, to the divine. It's like this energy of trusting and knowing, like, okay, yeah, I know I just got dropped in here. This isn't, I know this is divinely led. There's some sort of divine intervention here, but also, too, it's like divine intervention for both parties, right? What mask is this shark wearing? What do I have to learn from that? And that's something, too, it's like, I feel like you are becoming this master alchemist. Sorry. uh, that reminds me of Mr. Freeze and Mr. I don't know. Anyways. Um, Yeah, so this is what's happening. It's like each time you get dropped into a tank, right? You're used as some sort of shark bait. I hate to even say used, because let's keep in mind that you did volunteer for that, right? In my beliefs, okay? In my personal opinion, if this is something that you experience where it's very divinely led, right? It was, this was part of a contract that you had. You know what I mean? So, and you don't have to believe that, and that's okay. You know what I mean? It's okay. Uh, but anyways, so uh, this is creating mastery, is what's happening. Okay? There's a lot of waxings, a lot of waning moons here. Okay, so like a kind of like an in-between cycle. We've got a full moon in the middle. We've got a new moon starting out here. Okay, so I feel like the new moon may be kind of really ushering some things in here. Okay, yeah, you're very close to achieving your goal. You're good enough. There's some sort of heart activation that's going on here, but it is very much tied into some sort of, I feel like, upper chakra here, right? Like throat a little bit, third eye a little bit, crown a little bit here. Okay. I feel like we're totally switching gears because I don't even remember what we were just talking about here. You know how that goes. So, yeah, some of you are extremely gifted in this. Okay, they're reminding me that we were talking about being an alchemist, okay? But with alchemy comes a lot of like intuition or maybe psychic gifts or, empathy or, there is... It's like you need one for the other. Do you know what I mean? And there's something about that because I'm being shown like kind of like a big circle, right? And that's the wheel, right? The wheel of fortune, right? Yeah, I don't know. There's something significant about that, but let's keep going here. So, okay, so yeah, we have somebody may be gifting you something, or like it's like maybe there's like through a job, or they may be gifting you a job, or you may have some sort of occupation in which you use your gifts. And if that's the case, you are very, very, very talented. Okay. These gifts can be any and all things, right? You could be a fucking math whiz and I could be talking to you and you just gotta know that you're, the best accountant and the fucking, I don't know. Anyways, excuse my language. I got a little aggressive there, didn't I? Okay, so let's see what this is, because this is a little bit of a... So there's a couple of people that decided, oh, I think I'll take a little journey down Collective's path, right? I think I'll put on Collective shoes. This could be like a mother-daughter, okay? This could be, couple sisters, or, this could be, I don't know, but I do feel like they are feminine energies, okay? Yeah. They're like, I feel like they took whatever path or journey that you've taken very lightly, okay? There is this energy, especially if you're in the spiritual world here, okay? There is this energy of, like, having no idea what they're getting into here, okay? And I think what's happened is they've got themselves stuck in some sort of community, right? It's like, oh, I'm going to go down this path, right? And then on that path, right, they've met a community that maybe, or a group, or like a coven, or, or say somebody was, I don't know, this could even be like getting stuck in a job. It's like they found themselves stuck in something here, okay? And because of this, there is some sort of concern that's been created. I can only assume because with this community or this group, that they may have done some things or participated in some things. I get the feeling that whoever these people are, right, they put your shoes on, or, they tried to walk a mile and, on your path or something like that, and they could not handle it, right? They may have done something, all up in the moment in the beginning, and they're like, ooh, this is great, right? And then they're like, now they're either already feeling trapped in this, or they're worried about getting trapped or feeling trapped or something along those lines. Okay? Because I feel like somebody was underestimating the path that you've walked, the journey that you've taken, what it takes to walk the path that you have. Right? It's like you created this path. You kind of opened it up for others to walk down, and they're like, they waited till you couldn't see, right? They're sneaking on. They don't want anyone else to see. They're sneaking on your path, and that's all fine and well, right? You created the path for them to walk on, but the thing is they took it very lightly. They thought, this is easy, and they're finding that that's not the case. There was a lot of darkness. There was a lot of shadows before the light. Now over here, there's there's the concern, right? I feel like there's a concern of losing some things. I feel too there's also a concern of maybe somebody losing a position or some sort of good reputation. I do feel like this could be a masculine energy that might be, there's definitely both feminine and masculine energies here, but there is somebody who's concerned about their reputation for sure. Let me see here. All right, tell me more about this situation for the collective. Tell me about this occupation and gift here. Yeah, something's leveling up here, okay? And again, it's like every time you maybe get dropped into the shark tank, right? Your shark bait or whatever, okay, you ascend. There may be some uncertainty here on I feel like there's some question, is this person like growing and ascending, or is this person like doing rituals? That may be something that or you know what I mean? Maybe both, you know what I mean? Like, it's not to say that you're doing rituals on other people, right? But maybe like protection or like, self-love or whatever. And ultimately that just brings up triggers. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're doing any type of ritual to heal or to grow or anything like that, with the intention of actually doing it, it's only going to put things in your environment that are going to trigger you to do that, right? When you ask for flowers, the universe is going to give you rain. Okay? So that's kind of that, right? So some of you may be kind of doing that. I don't feel as though if you're not doing rituals on anyone else, especially with this ascending coming out, right? It's like, yeah, somebody could be doing rituals on your ascension, trying to get you to stop that, right? But again, that's not something that's in anyone else's hands, okay? And I feel like every time they do that, they're honestly just helping you to level up here, okay? This could be somebody that's a rich guy that's very wealthy, sending you evil eye, okay? Because maybe they feel as though, whoever this is, they feel as though your faith, your beliefs, or whatever are bad, or, they're demonizing you here, right? But then they're sending the evil eye, or they're doing the rituals, but they're demonizing you. That's wild behavior. Yeah, because now they're finding themselves imprisoned in this, okay? Yeah, this person is worried about their reputation. I feel like they're going to lose their reputation, okay? We have a child coming out here. They may even have a child that experiences health concerns. Again, because of this fucking evil eye, okay? Yeah, somebody went too far, dude. Okay, tell me about this. We got a main female and a mature woman. What's the biz? Oh, what is the biz? Yeah, this is growth, right? Maybe the chakras coming out here. Work, labor, efforts, and sweetheart. Yeah, it's very clear, right? That there's been growth, you know? You've matured. Masculine or feminine energy. Your chakras are balanced. You're kind. You're generous. The fruits of your labor are showing, you know? Okay, tell me about that journey and pathway here. Yeah, I feel too, there's also this energy of, you know, coming to a very unbothered space. Yeah, see, because you can see through the veil, right? Again, it's like you can see through. It's like if somebody's dropping you in the Shark Tank, right? And they're anticipating on scaring you with a certain trigger, right? A certain mask or a certain, you know, it's just a shark, right? And what do people do when they're scared, right? You know, either they freeze or they, you know, you know, take off, right? There's something about wanting you to like freeze or, you know, get all up in your head, right? There's something, but it's like, but you see, you're very unbothered because you see beyond the veil. You see exactly what's happening here. You're like, oh, okay, I see what's going on. This is just another shark. You know, we're taken care of here, right? This is just another lesson. You know, and there's no ego behind this. It's just, I see what's happening, you know? Yeah, and feeling very unbothered by it. Knowing that it's like, nothing and no one can take you off your path here. All right, tell me about this community imprisonment. I do feel like somebody could have lied to somebody. There is an energy, too, of somebody wanting to get at somebody else, knowing that if they came towards you, they would reap some sort of karma. So it's like this person almost like dangled you. That's what it is. Somebody else used you to get to somebody else, right? So maybe this wasn't even a thing against you per se, you know what I mean? Although somebody was using you, and that's shitball, right? And they may not have realized, you know, your divine protection. Maybe they did. You know, I kind of just get this feeling where it's almost like somebody knew that if they sent someone towards you with ill intent, they were going to get fucked up, okay? Yeah. So they may have, like, planted little seeds, created little, you know, lies, false statements about you, you know, to kind of get this person fired up to, like, come towards you in a certain type of way. Yeah. Tell me about this community with imprisonment here. Yeah, there's some things that are coming to an end, you know, for anyone that was, you know, kept dropping into the Shark Tank here, right? Because there's some sort of karma. Part of the karma is watching your success, okay? You've got to know that. Part of the karma is your success, okay? But you've done a lot of work for this. I feel like, you know, this success is really just going to start rolling in. If you've done the work, right? Internally, externally, followed your guidance, all the things. You know what I'm saying? But that is part of it, okay? Is having to see you succeed in such a way that they didn't think was possible. That they couldn't even fathom. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah, maybe something about being sick to their stomach here, right? Because there's also guilt, right? Behind that as well. It's like, oh man, we kind of like abandoned this person and they were being honest. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like, there's a lot that's going to come back on this group when this kind of all shuts down, right? When this kind of all goes down. It's like something is shutting down for them and a lot of things are opening up for you, or there's like this sudden rise. There's like this sudden, like I'm getting big liberation energy here, okay? All right, tell me about this distant future with family room here. There could have been somebody that got some sort of vision, okay, or some sort of intuition here, okay. This could also be you as well, maybe about a future commitment here, okay, with somebody who is also, get on my level, yeah. Yeah, this is going to be kind of a surprise, I feel, okay. Tell me about this concern with great fortune. House and nice guy. Somebody could be concerned about a house. Literally the concern just came out. Yeah, maybe concerned. Hold on. Let me help him. Yeah, somebody's worried about like their house being haunted. Whether it be now or like in the future here, yeah, there's something about they're also worried about like, because here's the thing is like, if there's an energy that's returning or haunting them, right, they may have taken something from you, or it feels like somebody's worried about you coming into some sort of great fortune, right, you going through this rise. Meantime, they're also very concerned and feeling like their house is haunted. Yeah, because they fucking did voodoo on a soulmate here. And now they're imprisoned in this energy. Okay? It didn't have to be romantic. I'm hearing this person may have confused the connection, right? They confused the connection. Yeah. Yeah, pathway with actual money, single, sexy, and successful. Exactly. All right, tell me about this main male with the official person here. Oh, kept wanting to flip back in. This could be that. I kind of picked up on it. It was that person, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, they see you walking this path to, you know, kind of becoming a very healed version of yourself, and this is causing a lot of instability, a lot of jealousy, a lot of emotional pain. They may be having problems with traveling, right? Maybe their vehicle. Um, you know, there's definitely some animosity here, okay? Because they were the opposition, right? And you achieved it's like you slayed your own connection with whatever demon or energy or entity that they were like, you know, trying to use against you, if you will. And so because of that, because you slayed your own attachment to that, you know, it has nowhere else to go. Um, but back to where it came from. Yeah. And so this was, you know, all of these things were part of that, right? Emotional pain, animosity, enamour for maybe probably the wrong people, just kind of very vulnerable, like pick me energy, right? Jealousy and envy, mental and emotional instability, right? Like all of these things, you know? Yeah, and it's like, you know, this person is like, gonna lose their reputation here, I feel. So, but anyways, collective confirmation, you were just shark bait again, okay? But I do feel like we're on the side of, it's like where you've been kind of pulled out here, okay? Um, because it just, they're reminding me of the energy coming in before where it was kind of like exciting. You know, it's like, you know, oh, you think that you can just drop the collective into a shark tank? That is so funny. Yeah. I feel like your divine team's getting a good chuckle, okay? Because you've grown through this. You've grown through all of this. And their karma is to see you rise. Okay? All right, my dear. Love you.